The love for your seed signals a growth beyond your own comprehension sometimes, but love is important. Growth and being confined to concepts foreign, with very little warning, but damn it, we here. With very little fear, nigga, the queens are near.
That's what that's it.
Welcome to the If I Let You Tell It podcast. This is your boy Mike Sessions. And if you heard the last episode, you already want to laugh, huh? All right. So, man, I got a very, 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 very special guest today. The Queen.
That's right.
And she got a lot of shit to say
I sure
for
do.
you niggas out there.
I sure do. Not I sure do, but I sure do.
Hey, man. So
I took notes. I'm not here to play.
Yo, check this out. I got my mom on the podcast today, man. The queen, the queen, the queen. And
Sorry,
so,
I'm not showing my face.
Yeah, so she
But,
decided
yeah.
to not be on camera today, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
So much like the last episode with my dad, I'm not coming in with really no agenda, no topics really. We just gonna shoot the shit, and we just gonna talk. So, Mom, how are you doing?
I'm just fine, son.
Why are you talking like that?
That's how I talk.
Not how you
I
talk.
promise.
Just
God.
talk.
But it's the microphone that turns me into that other entity that's inside of
The
me.
other
See, it's the
entity.
microphone.
Oh my God.
Well, you don't talk like that either.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. No, you don't.
I do talk like I did. I just put like a whole persona on right now.
Oh, yeah. Okay. This is how I talk, though, for real.
All right, Mom. So we just gonna get right into it. So, Pops.
Yo, Pops.
Well, yeah, what you gotta what you gotta say about that
I
man?
ain't gonna tear into his ass too bad.
Put the mic right here, like kind of like how I got it. Yeah.
I
There
ain't gonna tear into
there
his
you go.
ass too bad. I just want to clarify some things just because his memory is a little bit warped, you know. And I took some notes because it was a lot of bullshit that I had to like sort out and even put my memory together to figure out where he get that shit from. First of all,
Ogden, Utah.
Ogden, Utah,
Mm-hmm.
1988
Mm-hmm.
or 89.
It had to be 88.
89.
Was it 89?
It was 89.
Okay.
How I ended up in
Yeah.
Utah, not that anybody cares, it wasn't really my idea. It was my sister Deborah's idea.
Shout out
And
to
my
Deborah.
mom kind of sent me, behind her or whatever. Deborah was older than me, so she wanted to do that. I was cool. I didn't want to go to no damn Job Corps. That's what she wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
So we ended up going out there. I was never dressed in all red. And what group was we with? We didn't know anybody when we got there. It was me and my sister. So we wasn't with a whole bunch of girls. Everybody flamed up. That's a lie. And everybody knows it, it ain't nothing but Crips in my family.
That's real.
So, well, actually, it is a couple Bloods, but I was never affiliated.
Let's talk about it.
So your daddy was lying. He was lying big time on that.
Mm.
And about the damn rollers that I just had at the top of my head because I couldn't fit none in the back.
So I got a question for that because I actually was thinking about that. So I got like this area in the back of my head.
Can you speak up?
No, but I can hear myself totally
okay.
fine.
But I want to hear what you saying.
Oh,
You
okay.
talking to
Well,
me,
shit. Oh,
right?
you don't got headphones on. Okay, cool. All right, so you always say, all right, not you always say. I know that I got this little area in the back of my head that
I
don't
want to bring that up.
that don't grow
That
that much.
don't grow.
So when my dad said that, I said, wait,
nerve.
because you always said I got it from my dad's side. So when he said that you had the
Facts.
rollers that didn't really.
That was his issue. He was trying to push that shit on me. Your daddy got in the nape of the back of his head. His hair don't grow right there. His hair's never grown right there. That's why he was always able to rock the high top fade because he had to fade his shit,
Yeah.
and then blend it with the top. He was cool at the top, but that was a lie. I had braids when I went to Job Corps. The lies.
All right, so let's
Dookie
talk.
braids.
Dookie braids. Let's talk about it. So when you got there, how did you and my dad initially come into fruition? I guess how did y'all end up meeting each other?
I don't remember exactly that. I just know I wasn't flamed up. And I know I didn't have no rollers in my head. But your dad he was like GQ, you know, GQ style. You know, I wasn't used to guys. He was handsome, for one. I wasn't used to guys that dressed like him, that talked like him. He was very articulate. You know, he had like, you know, he was just dressed like a real debonair, like slick. Like I was used to guys from the hood with khakis and shit on, you know.
Yeah.
So he was a little bit, you know, something to look at. He was easy on the eye.
Yeah. So my dad, man. So he made these accusations that that you went to jail for punching somebody in the face. Is there any validity in the things that he said with that? We about to just talk about all of this. We about to get straight to it. Like I do, because I'm super curious myself about, because this
I did. I had a fight, and the cold thing about it, he said I didn't go to jail. I did go to jail. I did go to jail. I went to jail because she was real beat up. Once again, it was his fault. It was his fault, you know, because he was like a big time player.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even though he was like real sneaky. He was always talking everywhere we went, everywhere we've ever lived. He was always cheating with somebody. Somebody. So the girl liked him. I do remember that, or liked his brother or something. But she kept coming to me with the drama.
Uncle
Dre. She kept coming to me with the drama. And it's like, I don't have nothing to do with it, but ain't no telling what he was telling her or whatever. So she kept fucking with me. Like, that's the worst thing you can do if I'm walking away from you. If I'm trying to leave it alone, is to like follow me and keep egging shit on and pushing me, you know. And I put the pause on her. Oops. I did. I beat her ass. I beat her ass. I went to jail. That ain't even why. See, he got it all. He's like mixing stories together, because that ain't even why I went home. You know, I did. Her mother sent for her right away. She went home. She left right away. I didn't leave right away. The reason why I left, and I hate to say it, but if you want me to be honest, I went home temporarily. I was supposed to come back. I went home because I was pregnant and I was going to get an abortion.
Pregnant,
and that's
with
just
me.
what it is. I was pregnant with you, and I was coming home to get an abortion. I was supposed to go back. That might be a little sensitive, but
it's not sensitive.
You here, so goddamn it, shit, you made it.
I'm very much alive.
Right. So you know, it's because my mom was telling me, you know, how when I called her and told her that I was pregnant, you know, she was upset, and I'm sure she didn't mean what she said.
Right.
You ain't coming here with no baby, you know, because the cold thing about it, me and my sisters went together. Me and my sister went together. Me and my sister came home pregnant. Had our kids 2 weeks apart.
Me and Brittany.
Michael and Brittany. So, you know, she was kind of upset. But when I got home, she had a change of heart. And we decided to, you know, have you, raise you, and let it do what it do.
And me and Gurney have been inseparable since.
Yes. That's your second mama.
That's so crazy. So, Wilmington Arms.
Even before that, when he came out here.
Yeah.
Even before the Wilmington Arms, we was living with my grandmother.
Yeah.
See, I've never been to Nebraska. He had never been to California. We met in Utah. He ended up moving out here to be with me. Right. So when he moved out here, we was living in Swan neighborhood with my grandmother and them. He said Compton first, but he didn't go to Compton first. He went to South Central first. So that was another thing. Let me check this shit off. So I'll keep up. Okay, check.
Hey, she came with the clipboard.
I mean, he said I had rollers, like I had braids. This dude, like, who is he picturing?
She was like, I was not on no Suwoo shit, man.
I was not. And I mean, he had me like in red pants, and red is my favorite color, so I'm not doubting that I had on red.
Right.
But I ain't have no champion sweater on and flamed up with a whole bunch of blood girls. That's all negative and fabricated.
Man, shout out Pops, man.
Yeah. So when we went to live with my grandmother, that was a day, that was the time when, you know, crack was brand new out there, you
Late
know,
80s,
hardcore drive-bys, all that type shit. So for somebody to be coming from Nebraska into the trenches of that shit, like really in the middle of all that, he didn't know which way. He didn't know how much he stood out. You know, just he can walk to the store, he would stand out because he just wasn't like nobody else.
It was like he stood out in a bad way and a good way.
Yeah. Yeah, of course
Yeah.
they gonna try him
Yeah.
because he stood out. He was like corny,
Yeah.
to the guys that sagging
Yeah.
with red rags and shit. He
And
was
coming
corny.
with slacks on.
Right, he got
button
slacks
up.
and dress shoes and shit in the summertime. Like guys around here, they didn't dress like that unless they was going to a funeral.
Yeah.
Or it was Easter.
Right.
They didn't just walk around with slacks and shiny ass shoes.
Yeah.
That was him, though. That was just his style. But he eventually tried to pick up the cultures of L.A., but he moved too fast, and we wasn't ready.
That goes back to that conversation I was having with him about that outfit. Remember, you always tell me about this
Man,
outfit he wore.
listen.
You thought he was the Fresh Prince and shit.
This dude here, like, he would just leave and come back from the swap meet and be a whole different person. Like, he was still who he was, even with them outfits on. He was still corny as fuck, to them or to what we knew to be regular or normal or whatever. But he was who he was. That he wasn't short on no hoes. So everybody liked something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we ended up moving to Compton after I had you. After we got married. Yeah, we ended up getting married when imagine.
Yeah.
Imagine having a baby and being married at 18 years old.
Mm.
Can you even?
You just turned 18.
I was pregnant when I was 17. But back in the day, it was different then, making it to 18, having your baby, that was different because my girls was having babies at 12, 13 years old. So if you made it to 18, you was considered doing good,
crazy.
and had a husband and he stuck around, and he came from a whole nother state,
Yeah.
We did the little family thing for a minute. He went away to the Navy. He didn't sell none of that. He went away to the Navy. We just grew together and grew apart.
I did want to ask him about that too, because I remember, he slightly mentioned it when he was talking about us living in Compton, and they used to call him, Navy Mike.
Cause he used to, that nigga came home and never went back. I think he went AWOL or some shit. he never went back. He never went back.
Man.
His problem was just bitches.
Yeah.
Even living over there in the Wilmington Arms, he was messing with somebody over there. Even then we end up moving with my mom. He was messing with somebody over there. It was just always like that. But I ain't gonna knock him too much. He was growing. He was young too. We was both young.
Yeah.
Kids even. Just
Like,
trying to figure it out.
You was 18, but he was like 20. Like maybe, I said
He was about 20, 21 when I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
He in a whole new place. This is
Whole
a
different
culture
state,
shock.
yeah.
Considering where he was from.
California and Nebraska, two totally
different. And even now, they're
Shit.
still,
Yeah, man.
But yeah, let me look at my clipboard because I
Yeah,
feel like
well,
there's
what else
some
you
shit I ain't
got?
touching on.
Hey man, Pops, look, I promise I wasn't aiming to set you up, man. But you
I
did
was
this
in a
to
jail
yourself,
cell
nigga.
pacing back and forth. That nigga said I was in a jail cell pacing back and forth. First of all, he was on campus. He wasn't even where I was when I was in jail.
Yeah.
He was happy I was in jail because I think he started messing with one of my friends when I went to jail.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I got right out and got back on my shit, but the damage was done.
So you came to California. You came back to California.
I came back to California
from Ogden, Utah. You were pregnant with me, and you didn't return. And then he ended up moving to California.
He ended up moving to California to be with me.
Mm-hmm.
I was still pregnant. I had to be like, I think I was like 6 or 7 months when he came.
What is the biggest, like the greatest takeaway you can say that you got from being with my dad?
Being what?
Like what's the best, like the positive, but the greatest thing outside of obviously like my birth? What is the biggest takeaway you got from that as far as positive? Not like necessarily like anything that
I just came to the realization that, not to be so hard on him, because he was young, but it takes you a while before you can get to that point where you could forgive and not be bitter. I think before I had a lot of resentment and bitterness for obvious reasons. But as you get older and your kid. But you always wanted that,
Right.
you know. So
Yeah.
I know I'm kind of getting off this.
No,
But
we
you
talking.
kind of wanted that. You've always wanted that. You've always longed for that father, you know, relationship
Yeah.
and son. But the cold thing about it is he was the same way about his father. He was the same exact
Who
way
lives in California, by
about
the way.
his father.
It's
He
like-
always longed for that. He may
Yeah.
not admit it,
No,
but
he
he
does.
always longed for that from
Yeah.
his own father. And it's crazy. And I'm glad it stopped somewhere with you.
You
Did
know,
hear that?
it's like everything
Something
just stopped. or something.
Right.
You know, I actually went looking for him.
What you mean?
My granddad.
Why?
Not looking for him. I don't want to say.
I'm pretty
but
sure you got the same questions that his dad got.
I
As your dad
got. I had found out that he lived, or at least he worked, in Huntington Beach.
Mm-hmm.
This was like 2013, maybe.
Did you find him?
No. Well, no, actually, I did. I did, but what I did is I called. I think he worked at like Gold's Gym or some shit. He worked at the gym, and I called and I asked for him, and they confirmed that he worked there. And I asked for him. They said he wasn't there at the time, and I said, "Well, could you please leave a message for him to call me? This is his grandson." And I never got a call, obviously. But that was like the only attempt I ever really actually made to
That's crazy.
get
how
connected
things
with
repeat.
him. Yeah, and that I mean, but you know, honestly, that was my biggest thing with Elijah. You know, and you know how that whole shit went. But you know, it was like a celebration type thing, almost like when I told you about, like, you know, Mom, I got a son. You was like, nigga, what? You was
Out of the blue.
like, what the fuck? So, but for me, it was all about breaking that cycle.
Yep.
Breaking the cycle. I have to break the cycle. That was the biggest thing between me
doing
and my
it.
brother Dre.
Damn good job,
Was
both of
we,
you guys.
you know, we was like, we got to break that cycle.
Andre was never like that. I mean, I'm not saying that he didn't want that relationship with his father, but he didn't. He used to always say, and I don't know why, I don't really need two parents.
Right.
Like, one is cool. You know, that's just how Dre is. He real nonchalant about things. I'm pretty sure he has some times and where he missed that, because you need that. It's a reason why it took a man and a woman to make a child. You really need that. It's certain things, and I always
balance.
tell you about, you know, how it's just things that we look over or we don't take serious. You know, something as small as them knowing how to use the bathroom. You
Right.
know, like you how I always used to say how you didn't know when you get around your cousins and they standing up using the bathroom and you looking like, what are they doing? You know, you didn't know
Right.
that because you only seen me sit down. You didn't know nothing about standing up. So those little small things that I never paid attention to, look how important they are. Like, I didn't even think to teach you how to stand up. Hell, I don't stand up to use the bathroom.
Right.
How would I know to teach you that? So just think of other things that I don't know to teach you.
It was
just
a
because
lot
I don't know.
of there's a lot of different, like, I don't want to say culture shocks, but I think that that was why Graylin was so important. My grandpa. That's why he was so vital, because he stepped in during a time where I was asking all the questions, and you know, regardless if he
Respect.
knows it about, like, whether he knows it or not, he was very, very instrumental in
That's
my
right.
growth. You know, and whether it's, hey, Mike, just come hop in the car with me. We about to go take a ride. We about to go
Right.
over here. You know, like teaching me how to, you know, pump the gas
Just being
efficiently, and
consistent,
like, you know what I mean?
Being there,
yeah.
you can depend on him.
But even you though, Mom, like you had to play, both sides. I mean, I'm not a firm believer of I was the dad and the mom. You know what I mean? Because
right.
it's like almost kind of like disrespectful to men who are actually really
I hate
dads.
when people
like,
say Happy Father's Day to me on Father's Day. I'm not a
right.
damn father.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
just
pretend
a
to be.
superb mother.
I'm just trying to do what I can
You know
do
what I mean?
with the title that I got. It's hard and heavy.
But even when you used to, I remember, like, every time, you like, I don't care who it is, who's in the car. Like, if you are the guy in the car, you could be sitting in the back seat. You bet not let no woman touch that gas
That's
pump.
right. That's right.
You better get out the car. You pump the gas. You don't touch your plate until both of y'all ready to eat.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's like, it's just instrumental things that you have always taught me, and I'm happy to, all like, I can give you your flowers. I can tell you how much I appreciate you. We always have good conversations about stuff like that. But, just even like on a platform like a podcast, I want to let the whole world know how much I appreciate you, because it's so many different things that still it's just like your voice always rings in my head.
Andre
when
say
something,
the same thing.
Yeah.
He say the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, how can I say this? It's either you're going to repeat it or you try to change it. And of course, we all human. We have our flaws.
Right.
And especially hard for me because I really consider myself to be a really misunderstood person. Because for me, it just depends on where you met me at. When I say, no, I'm not talking about the physical place, but I mean like the mental space. You're going to get from me, you're going to think of me however you met me.
Right.
Like if you met me at a time when I'm cracking jokes, you're going to assume that I'm always that
funny.
way. When that's not even all of me. I'm more quiet than I am noisy and loud.
Right.
And if you meet me at a time when I'm quiet, you think I'm all that. I'm always that way.
Right.
But it's many layers to me, like it is with a lot of people. A lot of people think I'm just so mean, but it's a reason for that. It's a reason why I'm so strict with my kids. It's a reason why I'm 0 to 100.
You go hard for yours. And like I will be one of the first to say, even being in your household for years, I didn't really begin to truly understand you until I became an adult and I had to step out on my own and I had kids of my own. Then it became every time it was like, that's what my mom meant by that. That's what
How
my mom
easy is
meant
it
by
to
that.
walk away and not come back? I mean, I'm pretty
Man.
sure it's hard mentally, but it's hard to stay in them trenches and work
Man.
shit out and make shit work, But when your kids see you doing that, that's what holds them over on them times when you have to get in their ass, when you have to be the disciplinary, when you have to do that. It's those times when you was the only one rooting for them, when they was sick and you coming in the middle of the night, getting them soup and making sure they're okay. It's those times that hold you over on them times when they mad at you, because you always going to be the bad guy as a parent.
Right.
You always going to be the bad guy when you're in a situation where you have to be, the ruler, when you have to make, cause, especially raising boys as women, young women, they get taller, their voice get deeper, and they try you. So you kind of had to get that fear in them way when they're younger, or that respect, not even that fear, but that respect where they know not to go there with you. And I'm trying to teach that to your brothers now. Like, you have to protect me. Like,
Right. At the end
any
of the day.
woman that that you love, you have to protect,
Yeah. And that was like another thing where once I started to kind of realize, I think maybe as a teenager, I was like, because, the big misconception is that, like you said, that you're mean and, that you're aggressive or whatever. That's not the case. Like, once I realized.
I am, but I'm not mean-hearted.
No, that's all I'm about to say.
Yeah.
It was like, you didn't want to get to that point. You never wanted to
I'd be more upset
raise
that I
your
had
voice.
to.
Yeah.
That you made me do this. Like, because
Yeah.
it takes so much out of me.
Like, but that the ultimate goal is bigger than
Right.
how you feel at that moment.
Right.
So it was like, I'm gonna get to, I'm gonna push the, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get lit, but at the same time, trust and believe, I do not want to do this, and that's how I feel with my kids, because I am the disciplinary with my kids, but I don't want to. You know what I
Don't get no
mean?
fun out of that.
Like, I don't. It hurts me, like, to even attempt to raise my voice.
I hate, because it's like, if I bought you this shit,
Yeah.
I bought it for you because I wanted you to have it. Now I got to take it. I can't even, get the joy out of giving it to you or
Yeah.
buying you shit. You know how many times I
Right.
done had to take shit back, that I done bought. Not mad that mad that I had to take it back. Just because I wanted to get you there. I wanted you to experience this. I want you to have this. But when you fucking up, I can't, nah. I'm not rewarding no bad behavior.
Going back to my dad, just briefly.
Do you know I was married to your dad for 15 fucking years?
Yeah, I remember you
On
told me.
paper only.
Y'all got
and I wanted to say
divorced,
something
like.
about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
We was married 15 years on paper only. I thought that we was divorced. I'm sure he thought that we was divorced, because he did actually file for divorce. But we were missing a signature. We both had moved, and I guess they couldn't find us, so it got canceled or whatever. And so we was legally married for 15 years, but God works in mysterious ways, because it took me 3 to 6 months to actually divorce him, and that was at a time when I was about to get remarried. But I needed that time. I needed that time to figure shit out. I needed that time to see what I wanted to do and which route I wanted to take, and if that was really the thing, whatever needed to happen, it needed to happen in that time. And I end up didn't get married the second time because things was revealed, you know, whatever. But I would if I wouldn't have known, and we would just got married and end up right back in the situation I was in the beginning.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, man.
I needed that time for sure. At first I didn't understand. Dang, I gotta wait. We was already ready to get married. Now I gotta wait to divorce this nigga because they asked for a divorce decree, and I'm like, I ain't never get.
Yeah, I never got that.
I know, but you know, I didn't even know that's how it worked. But after I filed for, I'm like, it ain't no big deal. You know, we divorced. They should just give me the paperwork or whatever. But they was like, no, your voice was never final.
Damn.
So that was crazy, and he was remarried. Oops. So
Hey,
I mean,
you know what the dopest thing is though, Mom, is that like our relationship, like I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. It's because I mean, you know, you're 18 years older than me, but because of that, like even today, as a 30-year-old, you know, you still in your 40s, and I get to learn from you in like real time as you're still, because you're still very young. And you know, I see the growth for one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're like right now, we're sitting in a house that is yours. You own this house. You know what I mean? Like it goes from having like you got a mortgage and all that compared to when we used to bounce around from apartment to apartment. You know what I mean? Like we
always
be
had
in the
them.
studio
We always had
or
an
whatever.
apartment.
Yeah, like we had
always
something.
had
Whether it's a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, whether we. You know what I mean? Like we just all sleeping on the air mattress or whatever the
That's
case is
the
going to be.
most important thing because as you can see, as you are an adult now, you see how hard it is to keep this shit going and to stay on top of shit. It ain't easy. You know, and I know if a lot of people thought I was going to come on here and be like foul toward him, but me and your dad, we cool.
Great.
We cool.
Yeah.
And, you know, we Shell, you 30 years old, who got time to trip on some shit happened 30 years ago? If you if you could forgive him, why can't I?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I love the relationship that you guys have. I love the relationship that me and him have now. You know, we're actually looking forward to co-grandparenting. Like, you know, maybe we couldn't do co-parenting, but we could do co-grandparenting. You know what I mean? We're looking forward to the time we spend with our grandkids, you know, and that's because we were friends first. We were friends first. So, and we were so young and going through all the learning together as we were trying to be a married couple. Come on, I didn't know the first thing about being married.
We don't even come from a family where marriage is even celebrated.
My mother was never married.
Yeah.
I had never seen anybody married. Nobody I knew was married.
Right.
Everybody had baby daddies.
Let's talk about it, man.
Everybody had baby daddies. And you know, me, like a lot of young women, we think that ring is going to change something.
No.
We think that when they slip that ring on our finger, they're going to automatically turn into the perfect guy. And that, you know, you're going to marry who you dating. So if you're dating him and he ain't shit, he ain't finna be shit when you marry him.
Right.
That don't change shit.
People have this idea that when, you know, you kind of like move the furniture a little bit, the room is going to be different. The room is the room.
In the same damn room.
You know what I mean?
In the same room.
Like, you know, and that's my main thing is, you know, you can't change anybody that don't want to be changed.
And that shit came with time. Even not just him, with my growth, with our, like I said, we grew. And I think that it would have been different if we were in the same state. And by us being in so far away from each other, you know, that kind of helped with the distance between you and him. But I've never been that type of baby mama or ex-wife or whatever that kind of like got in the middle of that shit. Like I never got in between y'all shit. Yeah, I fought for you as far as, you know, the things that I felt like you deserved.
Right.
But I never stopped him from seeing you. I never stopped him from calling you. I never got in the middle of that. And I hate to see women do that shit. I hate to see women use their kids as leverage. Yeah, we're supposed to fight and stand up for them and get what they deserve and what they need.
Trying to be spiteful and shit.
Yeah, but all that trying to hold the child over his head and, you know, I'm not with that.
Right.
I'm not with that with none of my kids. And I got 3 baby daddies. And I ain't never played that game with none of them.
And that was another thing, like, you know, I man, like as an adult, 30 years old now, like I promise, like I just look at shit different now. Like the way I was raised, you know, I look at how blessed I was, even in the you know, me, Andre, and Tamia may not have the same dad, right? But I've never had an issue with Andre's dad when he came around that fucking 2 times. But Tim, you know what I mean? Like, to me, his dad never, still to this day, Tim will come in here and kiss me on the forehead. Like,
That's
you know what I mean?
That's because for one, I wasn't gonna ever just bring nobody around you that wasn't for you, that wasn't for us.
Facts, yeah.
Period. There wasn't gonna be no random motherfuckers just coming through dictating and trying to tell you what to do. You and
Never.
Andre don't know nothing about that shit.
Never.
I ain't never put y'all in a position where y'all had to protect me or fight for me.
It was never no niggas coming in the house talking about, hey, go do this.
Right. No.
Like, nah, that was never the case.
And after
you know what I
Tamia,
mean?
it was Val.
Right.
Y'all don't know
right.
nobody else like that. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
You know?
Yeah, that's real. That's real.
And kids shouldn't. You can say what you want to say about me, but my kids only know few. Trust me.
That's
It
real.
is the same thing with you, even with you dating and Andre dating. Y'all don't bring randoms around me. Y'all don't bring randoms to me.
Like, when we brought somebody around, it's because it was a serious situation.
At least felt like it was the real thing.
We thought it
you
was.
know?
Yeah.
And because for one, once you bring them around, you can't bring nobody else.
Yeah, because you get attached.
You already know that. You ain't finna play that game where, I got to play now. I got to sit here and can't look the bitch in the eye because, can't look her in the eye because of some shit you did.
Right. Because you're loyal. You know what I mean? You're
Very
loyal to
loyal.
us, and it's it's just like, hey,
Loyal to a fault.
Hey, son, say the word. What am I doing?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, that's just what it is, and I always try to respect that. What, as a single mom though, what do you think was the biggest hurdle outside of, I guess, without the male figure being there and teaching us things? What do you feel was like the biggest adjustment, especially being in your 20s during the time, like when we were like 10?
I think it
11.
was just trying to juggle a career and you guys at the same time, and trying to manage my time. And I would always feel guilty because I could never put y'all in sports. I could never really put you guys in it because you guys was latchkey kids for the most part of your life. You guys let yourself in and out the house because I was always at work. But that's a big difference than your mama being at the club.
Right.
Or you can't find her because she laid up with some nigga or something.
Right.
I was just literally working just to keep a roof over y'all head.
You
Like
was
it was no room
gone.
for nothing else.
You was gone before we woke up, and we got back home
Before I got
before
there.
you got home.
Yeah, it's
and
getting dark again.
yeah, like, you was out there doing what you had to do,
And still got to come home and cook dinner and make sure y'all homework is done and make sure that y'all clothes and stuff is laid out. Because I really had to depend on you guys to do the right thing because I'm gone at 4, 5 in the morning. I got to depend on y'all to lock the house up. Like back then, it wasn't no cell phones. It wasn't no none of, it wasn't
you used to
none
live.
of that.
You used to leave notes on the fridge.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I still do that.
Yeah, like
I
you used to
still
leave
do that.
instructions on the fridge. Hey, Mike, make sure you take out. You know what I'm saying? Take
Then
out
I'm
the
gonna
meat.
call. Then I'm gonna call you at work from when I get to work. Then you gonna call me when you get home from school.
Or
at
even the
work.
days where you had to take us to work.
Oh yeah,
You know, like we sitting there in your cubicle and shit.
Man, how many times I had to hide y'all in the car, had to hide y'all in the break room. Like, this is real life, real shit.
Real shit.
That's why it'd be hard for you and Andre to accept any type of bullshit from any woman because you already know, listen, I watched my mama do it. So you can't come in with no bullshit and blah, blah, I didn't do this, I can't do this. Make that shit work.
We was out here on the train, 7 years old, you know what I mean, by ourselves. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
With instructions.
Like, it's what had to be done. That it was like,
Better not show up with your clothes in a plastic bag.
Oh, you
my
hated
bag or something. Better not show. Little things that y'all thought I was just tripping over nothing.
I think about it now. Like, just super fucking. It's like, why you don't ever go out there. Don't embarrass
Put your
yourself.
clothes in no damn plastic bag.
Don't embarrass yourself out there.
Don't do that.
Just,
and even Andre, I used to have to take him to work with me. You was already going to college. Andre was in high school, and he used to have to go to Pomona, and I had to end up having to put him in school by my job just so I can, watch him or make sure that I was there to pick him up from school or whatever on time. And Andre already knew, I worked in corporate. So when you see somebody walk up, you got to stand up and look them in the eye, shake their hand, and firm shake, all that. Andre, no. You guys learned that early. Pulling chairs out, opening doors. Beat me to the door.
Right.
Beat me to the chair.
Don't even touch the knob.
Man,
You better
listen,
not ever touch the knob.
I feel the same way about trash. To this day, I'm not touching no trash. I pay the bills.
Right.
I'm not carrying no bags in the house.
I
I'm
used to
not
hate
carrying
that
no
shit.
bags in the house. And I'm not
Oh, my
touching no
God.
trash.
Mom, let me tell you how much I used to hate that, man. But I understand it in hindsight. But as a kid, we used to walk in the house. You come in with your keys and your bag, like your purse, and you're like, hey, go get them groceries out the car. Well, you could have brought in
I ain't
like
bringing in
3
shit.
bags,
Listen,
man.
I'm bringing in
Damn.
a motherfucking receipt. How about that? I'm bringing in a receipt that says paid.
Hey, real shit, man.
That's what I'm bringing in.
Man, I'm telling you, in hindsight.
Not the bill, but the receipt.
Or even when I used to be sitting
That was
there,
heavy enough.
Michael, Andre, give me that remote.
Right.
Remote sitting there right by
I
her
think
feet.
all parents is guilty of
I
that.
know now because I did this shit to
Yeah,
Elijah.
right,
Yo, I'll
see?
be like, hey, Elijah, go turn that hallway light. Look, the light switch is right here. All I gotta do is this.
Listen, I
Go turn
paid
that
the
switch
cost to
on.
be the
Right.
motherfucking boss. That's how I go.
Like I tell you, Mom, like I
That's how I
totally understand you, and I'm still understanding you more the older I get and the older the kids get, and and the older you get, because you're still learning a lot of things and you pass the game on to me.
Listen, I'm almost 50 years old and I still go sit with my mama and be still like, damn. Or I'm still learning, like, that's why she said this. Or sometimes we find ourselves in situations too late,
Right.
before we think, damn, but it's still, my mama's voice still coming up in my head. I don't think that should ever go away. I don't think it'll ever die.
Growing up, for you, like, what do you think is the difference in like that age, like that time period compared to now in like totality? Like, I know like the 70s and the 80s had to be just like
I don't remember the 70s, nigga.
the 80s then. The 80s then.
80s then.
The 80s and the 90s. Because you was in your 20s in the 90s, and I'm always envious of that because I always be like, damn, I wish I was in my 20s during the 90s. Like,
Why?
because the 90s is a golden age, like everything was popping during the 90s.
That's true.
Like television shows, like, the style, the music, like the technology that was being
still
introduced.
listen
Like,
to 90s music.
yeah.
It's like, that's
shit. If you even think about it as far as even style, a lot of people are still trying to dress like it was the 90s.
Well, they think they created something, but we was the same way. We thought we came up with some shit new until we looked at some old pictures of our mama and them, be like, damn, they been wearing these, been wearing this,
Yeah. I be looking at old photos of Granny and just be like, man, it was kind of swagged out during that time, man.
It's crazy because we kind of hold our parent responsible for everything that go wrong in our life.
Right.
Everything that go wrong, we blame our child. Sometimes they are to blame, but you don't stop to think about just all the sacrifices, just the consistency. If you can't think of nothing else, if I can't think of nothing else, because I used to be real hard on my mom,
Right.
Judging her, you know what I mean? But my mom had 8 kids. I can't imagine 9 kids. I can't imagine being, my mother had
3.
me, she was 18, and I'm the third. I can't, I'm sitting here saying, can you imagine having a child and being married at 18? Can you imagine having 3 kids at 18 with no husband, with no help? Even back then it was different, but I was the third one at 18. I had to really stop being so judgmental against her and really look at that for what it was.
The optics,
Shit might not never been perfect, but I don't remember being hungry. I don't remember being homeless, sleeping in no car. So shit wasn't that bad, but we think it is because we try to compare it to our friends' lives and everything
Right.
that look like it is. But a lot of them people, a lot of times it look good, but it ain't.
Right. It's like even still though, as we grow older and our own growth and us getting better for ourselves, like it's also important to look at how things could have been different.
Right.
And the part everybody played in that and holding each other accountable so that cycle is broken for the next generation.
And I think we did pretty good as far as my mom
Yeah.
was breaking the cycle because certain cycles were continued, but it's like my mom really got some stand-up grandsons because all y'all take care of y'all kids.
Not
all
one
y'all
deadbeat.
I don't know
Not one deadbeat.
I don't have no nephew. Shouts out to Lawrence. I told him I was gonna shout him out.
Shout out
Hey,
Lawrence.
Lawrence.
What's up, Lawrence?
Yeah, but I don't have no nephews that's some deadbeats.
Right.
That means a lot to me, especially when all of us was raised and all y'all was raised with no fathers. The majority, yeah, you see them on the weekends. These Christmas daddies and holiday daddies. That's what I call them. You know, when they dress them up and drive them around, and act like they doing something, they go drop their ass right back off and don't see them until that same time next year. I'm talking about fathers raising their kids, single fathers. My brother, just single fathers, right?
You know what I mean?
Since Tremont.
Yeah.
They ain't sit around and wait on no woman, to take care of their kids. They take all y'all take care of your own goddamn kids.
It wouldn't
Really?
even y'all wouldn't even allow niggas to be no deadbeats.
So that was a cycle that was broken.
Yeah.
That
for
was a
sure.
cycle we was from. None of our moms, none of her sisters, I don't think, was married. Not to the point where we saw like a regular person there and they was in a type of marriage.
Right.
What we look at as a marriage. We just had nobody to look up to like that. But the other things that we could control, we did control.
I wonder if that's why sometimes I'm so jaded against marriage. I totally agree.
What do you
with
have
it.
against marriage?
Like I think I would love to be married at some point.
Shut up.
I
You be
would.
over shit fast. That's
I
you be
do.
over shit
I
fast.
do.
That's me.
But my whole thing is this: I'm growing. I'm continuously growing, and I try to hold myself accountable for a lot of the reasons why a lot of shit went south and why it went sour. With marriage, it's like I'm learning about it from scratch because I don't really have an example of it. So it's like for me to be married, I feel like it just has to make sense. Not just I'm not just getting married to somebody just because
Totally.
We bond so well.
Totally.
Like shit had to make sense as a structure.
Totally.
Like what are you bringing to the table? What am I bringing to the table? Is it gonna make sense in totality?
Because at the end of the day, don't nobody need just a warm body.
Right.
You can get that anywhere.
Yeah.
And I've only been married that one time, been engaged a few times after that. I consider myself to be the runaway bride.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just certain things that I got to be able to do. I got to be able to respect you.
Right.
Point. Not because I'm afraid of you. Not
Right.
because you're going upside my head. Not because you got to pay all the bills and I need your help.
Yeah.
But because I respect you as to lead me.
Right.
And ain't too many men being an alpha female. It ain't too many men that can lead me.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely can't be led with no bullshit.
Right.
So, but I love the idea of marriage, but it just got to be right.
It has to be right. And I don't know, man. And I think that also, like, when you speaking about men, and it's not a lot of men that lead anymore. Mainly, I feel, obviously, it might be because of how many dads that was not present or male figures, positive male figures, during that, that 80s, 90s period, for my generation at least, that was just not around.
Well, it get to the point where women have been put in a position where they have to, wear the pants and the dress, and some other shit in between to get it done. So
Right.
it's at the point, even with me, I gotta want you, because I don't need you.
Right.
I gotta want you. Like, trust me, in your departure, it will not be no furniture moving. It will not
Right,
be no
right.
lights getting cut off. So that kind of puts a woman in another frame of mind as far as not really tolerating or putting up with much. And when you with somebody, you have to be able to compromise, and you have to be able to bite your tongue sometimes. But I'm not willing to do that. It hurt to bite your tongue. So I'm not willing to do that unless it's the right one. I can definitely be submissive. But it ain't many that I can be submissive to.
That's a fact.
And that's just what it is.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
I think we both share that though, Mom.
Yeah.
Like, I think we both get over shit fast.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be like,
Certain things.
it'd be like, because for me, my biggest thing, once I realize as I get older, is that I can't see myself settling down with somebody that I feel I can walk over. I hate that part. Like, because, like, look who I got. Look at the women in my family. Look at my mom specifically and look at my grandma. You can't walk over these.
I can't
like,
do anything with somebody that I can't learn something from.
Right.
Like I gotta be able to learn, and that don't mean you gotta be a certain age, you gotta
Right.
be work a certain profession, but we gotta be able to talk more than we hang out, party, fuck, any of that. We gotta be able to talk, and at the end of the day, your conversation's gotta be something that's gonna make me better, motivate me on them days when I don't want to do shit,
Real
when
shit.
I want to give up, you know, and just not many people can't even be there for themselves, let alone for somebody else.
Man,
So,
real.
you know, it's really at the point where when women get in this situation, you've been by yourself for so long, well, you got to do something extra special to move me.
Right.
Because, like I say, I put myself in a situation where everything that I want, I have because of my grind and my hustle and my hard work. You know, so you got to add to that. Otherwise, you in my way. And it's only going to take a minute before I'm tired and I'm next.
And that goes to my biggest point about what does it mean to be happy? You know, and I feel like you should never rely on somebody else
for your
to make
happiness.
you happy. Like, you can't be looking for somebody to fill a void. You have to fill any void that you have that's empty. It has to be filled by you, because that person always has the ability to just get up and just bounce the next day or the same day, whatever. They have the right to do that. So you have to be able to, like you said, if a motherfucker leave, ain't nothing leaving out of this. They just gonna just the clothes on their back. That's all they're going out with. You know what I mean? So it has to be something within you. You know, you can't be out here looking for love and all that. Like, you have to let that shit come to you organically, naturally, and the only way that shit is really gonna come to you in the way that you need it to come is if you love yourself truly initially.
And the person gotta really understand you. Like, you, for me, I'm too old to meet new people.
Right.
Like, it would take me too long to really
Go through that whole
get
process.
that. Because you gotta, with me and Jackie, them, we joke about this all the time. Like, you gotta love me already.
Right.
Because there's some shit you're gonna have to look past and look over. You gotta love me already to fuck with me.
And some shit I don't feel like explaining.
Right. That's just what it is. You gotta love me. 'Cause I mean, I'm just not.
Yeah.
I'm not for that little small tedious bullshit.
yeah. We're so similar. It's like I'm the same. I don't like small talk. I don't like having to explain myself. Like, you have to just know where I'm coming from.
You gotta know my heart. Then
Like,
you won't
know my
question
intentions,
nothing else. If you know my heart, you won't question nothing else or why I did something. Because if I love you, I'm gonna have your back regardless. I'll never throw you to the wolves, and I'll never turn my back on you.
Real
and
shit.
that's period.
Yep.
If I love you, I love you.
Man.
If I don't, I probably don't.
Toodaloo.
I probably don't.
Oh my God, man.
And you know, I see a lot of my mama and me. So you know, it's just how it go. But
Shout out Granny.
dang, I'm sorry, Mike Fresh. This is supposed to have been, you know, clap back for you, but I'm really not even feeling like. I just wanted to clarify a couple things about your dad, and like I said, we're the best of friends now. You know, and
that was something that I thoroughly, like, I love at 30 now, you know, and especially being a father, is my parents being in such a positive space where y'all can just sit there and joke and shit, and it's cool, you know.
Because I see so many people, like, fighting and arguing with their kids, fighting, and we didn't did it. We didn't did. I understand it, but at the end of the day, I never had to deal with that ain't my baby or not, you know, just being like that. But still, other arguments that was had and things that had to be settled between us, and we had to do a lot of growing and live life and deal with other people, and you know, and I know it's hard. Like I say, you know, he know mine, so I love y'all. I love watching him and you bond, and you know, have y'all little thing that don't have nothing to do with me. And also, I still get messages from him every blue moon. Hey, how you doing? Yeah. Thanks for my son. Mm-hmm. You know, and you 30 years old. To me, a daddy the same way. Yeah. Just out the blue, I'll get a text. Thanks for my daughter. You know, because when you start off as friends, you know, it can work out. And when you're not bitter no more, you're not holding a lot of that resentment in. It's a lot of people now I see that's being able to be friends with their exes. And I'm friends with their exes too. I don't, you know, I ain't trying to kick up no dust really on nobody.
Mom, you're like, even like, I guess it's like a philosophy and like the way that you live. Like, that helps me even with, you know, raising kids with Jasmine. And you always would tell me, you know, like at the end of the fucking day, those kids, that's what it means. Like that is what you need to be focused on. All the other extra shit, that don't mean nothing. Y'all need to make sure that y'all take care of each other because
guess what? If you ain't right, them kids ain't right.
if she ain't right, the
them
kids ain't right. Yeah. Like
And
that's
if you love them kids, you gonna want the best for your kid's mother.
right.
You gonna want to see them good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can go to Tamia daddy house right now.
Mm-hmm.
I can go to her daddy house right now with my other kids, with our bags in our hand.
Mm-hmm.
He gonna shake his head, say something on his breath, then he gonna move right out the way and
Yeah.
welcome us in. You
Yeah.
know, and
That's-
you know, that's what it is.
That's my main thing is at the end of the day, you know, I told you guys this too. No matter fucking what, we're family. And we're gonna always be family. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. So, yeah, man. Sorry, Dad. I know you thought you were about
Right,
to
be
get,
the
you
center
thought you
of
were
a-
about to get
Boo.
chewed out. You thought you were about to get cussed out, but it didn't turn into that. But that's good though. It's good. I mean, I like healthy conversations like this because it's a lot of people that can't even talk to their parents the way I
Right.
talk to my parents.
It's a lot of people that can't even talk to their kid's father or the
Right,
kid's
right,
mother,
right.
and that's sad.
Yeah.
You know,
man.
but a lot of times, a lot of that, and I ain't trying to, you know, take nobody's. I'm not trying to make no excuses for nobody, but a lot of times it be those situations where, you know, it was them keep a nigga babies. And
Yeah.
that's just what it is, you know, thinking
Yeah.
that if I have his baby, he gonna stay, or, you know, I ain't never been that kind.
Right,
I
right,
get
right.
on and throw up the deuces with my baby, you
Yeah,
know, or I
with the
drop the
baby on the
goddamn
head.
baby off with you. You can have him. I'll be back. You know, it just wasn't never no ultimatums or anything like that,
Yeah.
because it was relationships. And kids came out of relationships. It wasn't like kids came out of a one night stand or
Right.
something like that.
Right. I mean, I don't really have too much to ask you outside of that. I kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like I did just kind of want to shoot the shit. Did I have a motherfucking?
Let me look back on my notes.
You got some more smoke for my
I
daddy?
mean, I do remember that. I do remember that Dickie suit, but he looked like homeboy from Friday when he got his chain snatched. I think he
Ooh.
worked for FedEx or something. Pookie, what's his name? Pookie on Friday when he got his by Debo when he got his chain snatched. He had on an outfit like that, a khaki outfit like that, but it was beige.
fuck.
He like he's finna go do somebody pipes or something.
I asked him.
Plumber.
I said, hey, you ever got ran out of any neighborhood? He said, nah, they all love me.
They did not. They didn't know you were alive.
Hey man,
They
talk
did
your
not
shit, man.
love him. They just thought he wasn't really no threat or nothing. You know, he was like the weird dude, not the weird dude, but the corny dude. He don't get mad at that because he
Yeah.
think he's so.
Hey,
but
man.
he's something else.
Shout out you, Pops, man. I love
Shout
you.
out, shout
I
out
love
to Mike
you,
Fresh.
man. You know,
Mike Fresh.
the original.
I do know that damn Cadillac that he talking about, Mom had a clean ass white Cadillac.
Yeah.
Coupe de Ville. That's what it was. He totaled that bitch. She forgave him. She loved your daddy. She forgave him. I
She
couldn't
still
even
love
drive.
that man.
He totaled that motherfucker. He
The
did.
way he was talking about the way he drove over the curb and shit, like after
Now that story.
Yeah, all right. So what happened? Please tell me,
Listen.
what's going on?
Delusions
man?
of grandeur. Never happened.
It never happened.
I don't remember nothing about that. I don't remember nothing about nobody pulled no gun on him and you was in the back seat in the car seat. He
Yeah.
drove over the curb.
That's funny.
He was dreaming. That was one of his dreams.
Oh my
I don't remember
God.
that story. I don't remember that story.
I wish I could get that man on the phone. but
Last time I
can't. My
seen
phone
him
recording the
before he
video,
came
so.
to visit out here, he was riding down 94th Street
Mm.
going westbound with two left shoes on a 10 speed.
That was the last time.
That's
you
the
guys
last
saw him?
time I seen him.
Mm.
He had them Navy shoes, who the one that used to spit shine, but he had on two left shoes. Since you want to talk about my rollers. Let's talk about you on a 10 speed with two left shoes on. It could going real fast. He had like a lot of you know how you riding a bike
Yeah.
and you pedaling real fast, but you're not going nowhere. Had a lot of slack in the chain or some shit.
Yeah.
And he was pedaling fast, but the bike wasn't going fast. So he had a lot of traction in a lot of space in the chain.
Oh, Pop, you out here lying about getting the gun pulled out on you,
I don't
man?
remember that. I don't remember that. I promise I don't remember.
What if it happened, but he just didn't tell you?
He would have told me. How you not gonna tell me? He could have told me. I smoked a lot. I don't know. So he could have told me.
Oh my God, man.
But yeah, your dad is cool. I know he probably. I know I'm gonna be listening.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it's
for
cool.
sure.
It ain't no problem over here. I don't really
have.
have no
There's no issues around here.
No
man.
issues with him. I just wanted to clarify a couple things. Him talking about I couldn't roll my hair in the back when I had fucking braids. Like, about me pulling up with all goddamn red on, flamed up. Lies. All that was lie. He left a whole lot of shit out.
Yeah.
But since he didn't bring it up, I'm not going to touch
gonna-
on it.
Hey, man.
Respect.
Respect.
I'm just glad that I didn't get that abortion when I came home.
Man.
Because you wouldn't be sitting here talking to
On a damn
to me now.
podcast.
You
This
made
is
it.
crazy, Mom. All right, shit, man. This is gonna be the end of it, but Mom, I'm very appreciative of you coming on and saying your part. And we do this off mic all the time. We sit here, we talk.
Right. It's just
and
like a regular conversation.
yeah, so man, I love you, and like I said, I do want to give you your
Love you, Dre. Love you, Mia.
shout out Dre, shout out to Mia, shout out Aiden, shout out Chris.
Aiden, Chris, Lanique,
Shout out Nick, shout out Nate, shout
Shout
out
out
my
Mom.
kids. Nigga just shouting out everybody.
Shout out Tiny.
Nigga just-
Shout out
shout out all my
Mika.
aunties,
Shout
all
out
that
Ray.
shit. My mom is over here, by the way, YouTube viewer. She's over there somewhere. So, but yeah, still. In conclusion, like I said, I do want to always give you your roses and your flowers,
son.
and just let you know that you appreciate it. I'm still learning every day, different things that you have instilled in me and my brothers and my sister. So please, man, just. I want to say give a round of applause to my mom. I wish I could fucking play that shit right now, but
It's okay.
you can't hear it. So.
I hear your heart going pitter patter. That's enough for me.
Hey, man, this has been the If I Let You Tell It podcast. The host, Mike Sessions. That is me and my beautiful mother over here. So that's this episode 4. And, tune in next week. And I don't
See
know
what you
who's
got
gonna-
next. What's up? What you got
I don't
coming
know.
next? Who coming next?
I don't know. I don't end up getting guests until like fucking Friday.
shit.
Friday before or something
It's
like
all
that.
good.
But it just kind of depends on how the week goes. But
Thank you guys for tuning in, though.
yeah, man. So
Appreciate it. Maybe you learned a little bit something about
hey.
me that you didn't know.
apply that to your life. Wisdom.